Welcome back, everybody. This is Bulldog here, and I'm going to show you how I used a full First Order squad without Supreme Leader Kylo to defeat this latest Galactic challenge. We've got the Scorching Sun modifier, where everybody's going to lose health as we go along. So mod for protection, not health, because you're going to lose the health anyways. First Order has Blind Fury, which essentially means they're going to stack critical damage but lose critical chance, so they can only get those critical hits while they have advantage. Advantage is still bugged, by the way. When we've got bounty hunters over here who are going to gain true defense. That true defense, these stacks of true defense essentially have to be removed before you're going to deal any real damage to them. So try to get a lot of hits on them early, so they'll lose those stacks. And basically, what we're going to do is try to keep these guys perma-stunned. So I use this mass assist first to get a bunch of hits on Boba, so he can be losing that true defense, but I also wanted to dispel grief over there so I could get him stunned so he doesn't cleanse any of the stuns we have. Then I'm going to use First Order Officer to flip the turn meter to Hux, who can give the bonus turn to Kylo, reset the cooldowns, and we can get a second stun on boss so we don't get a taunt. And then we've got these 2-turn stuns, and we're just going to try to flip those around to Kylo as fast as possible. We're gaining a ton of turn meter on this First Order squad, and that's going to allow us to keep 2, 3, 4 characters stunned at a time. This second special by First Order Officer will reduce cooldowns, so that can be very important to use. And then you've also got to manage these stacks so you don't overheat as well. So it's kind of a balancing thing. You really need to keep track of where the cooldowns are at on your special. So like here, I knew that we could flip it back to crew and get a stun. But you got to just pay attention. Do you need to go to crew? Do you need to flip to First Order? Or do you need to flip to Hux, who can, like I just did there, Hux can then reset the cooldown. So now we've got 4 characters stunned. And it's you really don't take a lot of damage. And it's just all about kind of manipulating the battle here. There's a lot of stuff to keep track of. So it is a little bit tricky, but it wasn't too bad. Now I've got these at mid to high relics because obviously took them there to get Supreme Leader Kylo. They don't have great mods. I'm going to show you the mods at the end. The mods are actually relatively poor, so you could certainly make up for some of these relic levels by having better modding. I don't know kind of what the cutoff is on where you could expect to complete this. Whether you could do it with some of these guys at gear 12, or if you need them all gear 13, I do not know that. I know I'm going to get a bunch of questions on there. I do not know specifically, but I know this was relatively easy with poor mods. So I know the mid to high tier relics is overkill. It's I actually did this twice. The first one I lost track of the stacks of overheat and lost First Order Officer on the next to last turn, and it kind of annoyed me. So I did it again because I wanted to get a recording with all 5 characters standing, and we were able to get this here. So also keep in mind that Dengar over there is going to gain stealth whenever he is critically hit. Now, once the battle gets going, you're not going to get any critical hits if you do not have advantage. So feel free to target him as long as you don't have advantage. One of the very first runs that I did on this, I kind of lost track of him. I allowed him to fall into stealth. I think an AoE from First Order from Sith Trooper there is what put him in stealth, and then his AoE took out 2 or 3 characters because the stacks of overheat got so high, and I didn't have full protection, so he's able to do some damage with that. So he's kind of a character to kind of pay attention to. It's easy to kind of keep everybody stunned, but you can't stun him if he's over there in stealth. So just pay attention to that, and you'll see he almost did the same thing in this run. You'll see here in a little bit. Luckily, I had everybody. At this point, I've got everybody at full protection, so when he gets off his AoE, it didn't end up doing enough damage, because we're losing stacks of health, but we're not losing any of that protection. So as long as you keep that full protection, you give yourself a little bit of room to absorb some damage, but you still have to make sure those stacks don't get to 10, because if they get to 10, even if you have full protection, if you lose all that health, it's you're done for. So at this point, it's making sure you don't get those stacks of 10. You see, we're up at 8. I think we get up to 9 at some point. And the cooldowns are such that you can keep them under control fairly well, but then I got too focused on them and allowed Dengar to actually get an attack off, which I should have managed a little bit better. I could have flipped it over and actually stunned him here, which would have been the better option, and almost cost me not doing that, but it still worked out pretty well. Couldn't reduce his turn meter here because he does have that tenacity up, and again was too worried about those stacks in there, you see, but he doesn't do a lot of damage, so that's the good thing. But if he gets through that protection at all, we have very, very little health at this point, so it doesn't take a lot of damage to take out our health. But yeah, this worked pretty well, and it's good to see that you don't have to have a Galactic Legend in order to complete this, but it does seem like you do need to at least be on that path, because again, I don't know how many people are going to have a bunch of Gear 13 First Order characters if they aren't going for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. So let me know in the comments, guys, what the lowest gear or lowest relic level teams you guys are able to complete this with. I'm interested to see how low this strategy will go, or if you use some different strategies, that's okay as well. This one, I'm not claiming this is the best strategy necessarily. I'm just saying this was an effective one that worked for me without needing to use Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. So thanks a lot, guys. I'm glad that we're getting these challenges two times a week now, because they are fun. Something different to do. I know there's some complaints about the reward structure still, but overall, I think it's been a solid addition to the game, and I'm fairly happy with where things are at this. As always, stay tuned, everybody. Thank you for all the likes, subscribes, all of that stuff that helps all of us content creators out. We really appreciate it. You guys have a great day.